Hello everyone. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Albany, Oregon. Welcome. Today I am going to show you how to make this center pop fun fold card using this beautiful paper that is coming out in a little over a week to those of you that are not demonstrators. It is in the new Holiday Mini, September through December 2025. Still can't open it yet until it's released. Hopefully, most of you have received this already. I haven't heard from any of my customers saying they have, so I don't know. Anyway, this paper is called Traditions of Christmas. I actually have been praying that Stampin' Up! Would come out with a really pretty Christmas designer series paper this year, and they did. I am not disappointed. Let me show you the papers that are in the pack. I won't go through them one by one, but hopefully you can see these. This one I absolutely love. It is gorgeous, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but it's got a little tinge of pink in it, and I don't believe there's any pink listed as one of the colors. So this green is the back, and then there's this one with the blue back, and then this one, which we are using on the card today, with another green back, and a lot of these are foil, and then this one, which we're also using today. I actually, on the card that we're doing today, the sample, I am using two different papers. I didn't do that on any of my others. So here's another one that's really nice. And then this one has great big poinsettias. Sorry for bumping the camera. So that is the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. And now I've smacked my chair into the camera leg again, sorry. So let's take a look at what we're going to need to make this card. It's not near as bad as the last one I did, and kudos to those of you that made the last card that I posted. I think there were like 25 cut pieces. This one doesn't have near that many, and it goes pretty fast, you know, once you get your pieces cut out. So let me, I'll mention that you can either grab a screenshot of this, or as always, I will have a PDF with all of the measurements and supplies I've used. It will be linked down below this video in the description box. So you can just click on that and get the information. You can print it out if you want. I will also mention that when I was making these cards, and you know me, I make one and then I'm like, oh, I wonder what it would look like in this sheet of paper. So, well, I did that, and I made quite a few sample cards. One of the things that I sometimes do, or frequently do, these are some of the card bases, just a couple that I had sitting here ahead of time. I like to make these in the colors that I think are going to go with the designer series paper, and then I can try those pieces of paper on it and see which card base I like best. Of course, I've also got basic white. And then I also made ahead of time some of these little bows that are on the card. I don't know if you noticed it or not. That one is Pool Party, and that color is in the Designer Series paper pack. That little bow is from a new die set coming out called Patterned Tags. So you can see it here. It cuts out these two pieces at once. Kind of cool. I'm really liking it. So I put that on almost all of my samples that I'll show you today. So let's get started. Hopefully you've snagged this or are gonna wait for the PDF. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna grab my trimmer, and I am going to just take a 8.5 by 11 sheet of basic white cardstock. Oh, excuse me, it is not basic white cardstock. It is 110-pound white cardstock from Staples. I usually use this for my card bases if I'm not using a colored cardstock. Last time I mentioned this, and I did have several people ask me if I could show the actual paper pack that I get from Staples. So this is what it looks like. They usually have it in the store, or you can go online and order it. And I think the last time that I looked online, it actually cost more than it did in the store. I can't remember if they charge you shipping or not. That might have something to do with it. So anyway, I am going to extend my trimmer arm, and we're going to cut this 8.5 inch side down to 8 inches. And then I'm going to cut the 11-inch side in half, so that would be 5.5. And then we are going to close that back up. We are going to cut and score to get this little card base. Hopefully I can keep my head out of the camera because I do want to get right in here so I can see it. I'm going to do it from the bottom of my trimmer. Hopefully you can see this. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to set one edge at the 2-inch mark, and we're going to score that. I am going to take this out and turn it over, place the other end at 2 inches and score that. Then I'm going to take it out and turn it to the long way, and I'm going to place it at 1.25 inches. And this is where we're going to cut our line for the middle where things are going to fold. So we've got this at 1.25 inches. Hopefully I can keep my head out of here. I am going to take my scoring blade. Let me switch my glasses. And we're going to cut between each of these score lines that we just made in the center. So if you take your cutting blade and lay it on the track anywhere in there so that it's going to fall in between those scored lines, push that down, and this is going to be hard for me to see this. Just slide it up to that score line and then down to this score line. lift your track up, turn your paper over, put it at 1.25 inches again. Lay this down again carefully. Take it up to that score line, down to this score line. Okay, and get rid of your blade. So now we're going to turn it over this way again, and I am going to place it at the 3-inch mark, and we're going to score inside these lines that we've just cut. So slide your scoring blade down here, take it up to the first score line, slide it down to the bottom score line, giving it some pressure, flip it over again, place it at 3 inches from the top score line to the bottom score line. Now we're going to score again. We're going to scoot it over to the 4-inch mark, and we're going to score from this edge of the card base to this first cut line. And then I'm going to lift it up, slide it down to the bottom score line, and then press it down and score that down there. Okay, so that is our card base. And I am going to now grab my chair, and let's make sure that I've got this in the camera. I'm going to grab my bone folder, and I am going to, so this is going to be the front of the card base. I'm going to fold this end piece up. Give that a good press. Flip it over and fold this side up. Make sure your edges are lined up. Give that a good press. Okay, so now we've got 2 little score lines right here on these outside pieces. I am going to pinch these up and give them a good press. You can either have this piece going down under there or up this way. It seems to work better up this way. So give these a good press. You can score them if you want. And then for this middle roundish piece, there's 2 score lines on it. So we're going to actually push this over until it folds on that score line. And we'll burnish that, give it a good crease. Then we'll turn it over and do the same thing to this one. Okay, that's the hard part. There is our card base. That's what it looks like. So now I'm going to kind of flatten it out again, because we are going to glue our pieces together and then we'll put them on the card base. So first I'm going to take these larger 1 7/8 by 5 3/8 pieces of gold foil and these 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 pieces of the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. I'm going to grab my glue and let's glue these together. So I think the example that I showed you, I used my favorite, and I don't know if you can see it on here or not, distressed gold for the background layer there. This one is just the shiny, shiny gold foil. So let's put some glue on this second one. And we'll adhere it to the gold foil piece. And then we can take this piece and we'll put some glue on the back of it. This was kind of a silly bracelet to wear today while I'm gluing all these long pieces. I'm probably going to drag it through the glue. So let's adhere this left panel down to our card base. And that's Willow snoring, if you can hear her. So now we'll adhere the right panel down. Trying to get all of the margins equal around the edges of that. And then let's take we've got 4 little gold foil pieces, 1 7/8 by 1 1/8, and 4 designer series paper pieces, 1 3/4 by 1, and we will glue all of these down. And when I was cutting the designer series paper, not that it really was critical on these pieces, I did cut a 1 3/4 inch wide strip this way, and then cut it 1 inch. So that just happens to be the way that the design of the paper looked to me. It probably really wouldn't matter. But you're going to have to watch, because obviously if you use something like this, it would matter. So let's lay this one down. Set that one aside. Put some glue on this one. These, I guess I could have glued a few ahead of time, but I guess they really won't take that long. And I don't know about you, I've mentioned this before, but when I watch other people's videos, I don't know why, but I'm kind of mesmerized when they glue all the things together. I don't mind sitting and watching. But when I think about people watching me do this, I think that it's gotta be like watching paint dry. So hopefully it's not that bad. Okay, so here's our 4th little piece. And I did, you can see that I cut these. These were from the same strip of paper, so you can see that everything matches, not that it has to. So let's put this one down on the bottom left. guess I should check and see where I'm at in the camera here. And then I don't get up and look. I am going to. Okay, I guess that's okay. And then let's put the top one on. I wish I had the setup where I could zoom in on things, but I don't, and I don't even know what kind of goodies you need to do that. I'm assuming that it's not people's cameras that do that, but maybe it is. So here's our bottom right piece. Have you all got your wish list made up for the new catalog? And don't forget about the online exclusives. There's a lot of really nice stuff on there as well. All right, so here's our upper right piece. So if you really wanted them to match, you could cut a chunk of this paper double of what I did. I just cut it at 1 3/4 inches. So 2.5, and then this would match with this, and this would match with that. So if you're that kind of person, go for it. I really don't think people are going to notice if they're not cut matching. So the next one that we're going to take is there's 2 pieces of gold foil that are 7/8 by 2 7/8. And then the designer series paper that goes with them is 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let's put some glue on the back of this. They're getting kind of skinny. Don't get much on the edge up there. We'll put that on our foil piece. Try to line it up. Don't like scooting the glued pieces on the foil very much, because if you uncover somewhere where the glue has already touched, you're going to have a big sticky mess. So here's our second little piece. These are cut matching as well. And again, I did use 2 different pieces of designer series paper from the Traditions of Christmas pack on this card. The rest of them, I used all the same piece of paper, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So let's get this second little skinny piece down. And it's wanting to slip and slide all over. So now I have got a 1 7/8 by 2 7/8 piece of gold foil, and 1 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch basic white. I already stamped and heat embossed in gold my sentiment on the basic white. Let me see if I can find the stamp set that I used. It is from Old Retired Merriest Moments, Thinking of You This Festive Season. So that fits in there right up against the edges. So I actually stamped it and heat embossed it on a bigger piece of basic white, and then I cut it down to, let's see, it is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let's put some glue on that. And then we will adhere it to our gold foil piece. I can hold it still. So it's fun to change out the, instead of using the gold, use one of the colors in the paper, which I did on quite a few of these. I did not do Pool Party. I'll have to try that too. So let's glue this piece down to our card base. I should probably stand up and make sure I get this straight. And then I'm going to add my, this is the point where you can go, which color bow do I want to use? And I did not have a red one cut out. So there's the pink one. There's lots of pink in this paper. I don't know if you can see it. There's the gold. It looks pretty. But I like the Pool Party bow that picks up the pool party in these bows, and then there's a couple little flowers that have it. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue, hopefully, on the back of my bow, and I'm going to set it right here at the bottom of this sentiment panel. And I want to make sure that my little ends of my bows aren't going to impede with this fold here at the bottom. And then I've also got some Spellbinders red self-adhesive crystals. I can't tell you how many times I have asked Stampin' Up for red and green Christmas color rhinestones. I keep putting it in the little sandbox thing, and we never get them. So I ended up buying them from somebody else. There are several different sizes of these rhinestones or gems, crystals, 2 millimeter, 3, 4, and 5 millimeter. So lots of great sizes. These are almost too tiny for even me, but I am using the large ones, which I rarely do, but I think that they look great on this card. So that is our card. One other thing you can do if you want, which I haven't done to any of mine yet, if you want to add panels to the back of this for writing on, you certainly can do that. I'm not sure that I'm going to do that. I think just this big sentiment on the front is nice. So that is the Center Pop Fun Fold card. What do you think of it? And do you like this paper? So I took, I don't know, I think I made 6 or 7 of these cards already. And I must have already taken, I don't know, 40, 50 photos of these. And I really have a hard time getting good photos for some reason. And I do have a nice Nikon camera. But unless the weather outside is really perfect, they don't show up very good, and especially the foil ones. So I apologize for the quality or lack of quality of the cards that are going to get posted. Hopefully they'll show up nice on this video. So this one is with a different piece of the paper, and it's got pink in it as well. And like I said, the pink isn't listed. It is mounted on gold foil panels, but it has a real red card base. So that makes a different look. This one is that same paper, the gold foil in it. I don't know if you can see it shimmering. And it's mounted on real red with a white card base. And this is the same paper. And I actually mounted it on basic white. And then this is pretty in pink. So again, I'm going to say I'm not a pink person, but I really like this. So there is pink. And then this is the one, the very first one that I did with the piece of paper that I really like. And again, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it does, these lighter spots are not white, they look pink. So this one, when I cut it out, I had cut it centered, so I couldn't put the bow on here, hadn't even thought about it. So I heat embossed a poinsettia from the, I guess it's from the Merriest Moments set with 2 of the little leaves. And then I put some of these little rhinestones on here. You can see this is the little teeny tiny one. And then that one has got the distressed gold behind it on real red. And the next one, I put pretty in pink behind it to bring out the pink in that paper, which it does. If you were in person, you could really see all these little areas where that pink shows up. That one is mounted on a real red card base. And then this one, you know, I love red and black. So this one is on gold foil and basic black background. So those are my cards for today. Yes, I went a little crazy. So I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed following along, and I really hope that you will get some of this paper and try this card. It really is a beautiful card, and like I said, it does not take very long to make. So if you are getting anything out of my video, please give me the thumbs up, hit the like button, share my video with your friends and family. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. It helps my channel grow. I appreciate all of you out there that have subscribed. I've got just an amazing amount to me of subscribers. So anyway, I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.